Good evening, everyone. I just want to make a video just expressing how grateful I am. Now, for those people claiming to be Jews and Gentiles and claiming religion, claiming to be of God, for God, by God, all those barriers you were placing in front of people, around people, all the illusions and the lies. Now people want to go to God begging and pleading for their burdens to be lessened. Now, you have to understand I work for God. And God is always going to side with me. Now, where you're going to God begging and pleading, knowing what you've done, but you think that you can pray your way out of things. See, people get the word forgiveness mistaken. They make the word forgiveness and repent seem like a recycle bin. Let's just say people feel as though they can do things that are not of God, not for God, not by God, and think that everybody else around them is supposed to just forget what they have done. Now, with that being said, I've had to tell people, look, there's a difference between forgiveness and then there's a difference between being naive. You have to understand there is consequences on the spiritual realm as on the physical plane of things. It behooves me that people will think that they can get on their knees and go to churches and be all up in prayer groups and turn that coven into a prayer group. You still did what you did. There's still consequences for your actions. Now, like I said, God's going to side with me. God's going to ask me, what do I think you deserve? And I already told God what you deserve, karma. As above, so below. The scales will be balanced. You deserve the 4 horsemen. Pestilence, famine, war, and death. You deserve karma. And those are the tools for karma. As above, so below. See, people think I'm waiting for the Justice Center to bring in justice for me. Not at all. My faith doesn't lie in a justice system. It never did. Now, with that being said, I've been in the system all my life. And I can say one thing. They have never helped me. So with me being in my North Node, I walk by faith, not by sight. So everybody that's in the background trying to clean up their messes and stuff, I know the government was part of it. I know caseworkers, therapists, doctors, psychiatrists, primary doctors. Let me tell you something. I know that everyone I've ever came in contact with has been part of my struggles, of my battles, of my trials and tribulations. So for me to put my faith in you and your abilities to do the right thing, I know you can't do the right thing. Because every day people look me in my face and they lie. Let me tell you something. I can hear people's thoughts. I can feel people's energies. I know when you're scared. I know when you're sad. I know when you're crying. I know when you're angry. I know when you deserve something good, lessons and blessings. So I know who's deserving of. So people who want to project all that energy towards me for empathy and sympathy. Look, I gave you a heart. What you did with that heart was up to you. Now, people want to understand love and want me to come back and shower them with love. See, I'm an easy person. Wait a minute, I'm not even human. Let's just get that out the way. I am an angel. sent by God, ordained to be able to help people. And for those people who try to tell me about God and explain God to me, you don't know God. You don't know God at all. You can't sit here and tell me what actions, of course of actions I should take when it comes to God. I know God personally, and everything I do for God. You know, I'm here for God. I'm not here for man. I'm not here for the lies. I'm the foolery, the fuckery, and the foolishness. I'm not here to negotiate my contract with God. I'm not. You know, a lot of people clearly who's been around me and they put around me, you know, from the government, they are not wise. They have zero common sense. And that's just me being nice. You know, and they know that I'm very wise. They know. It's funny because people know that I don't need them. You know, I'm the one that's, it feels to me like I'm on people's payroll, but they ain't paying me. And that's me being nice. But the thing is, I'm not worried about your payments. I'm not worried about your sorries. I'm not worried about your truths. You know, because all this time, 30 plus years, you couldn't tell the truth. You couldn't even stand in front of me and just say you hate me. Stand in front of me and say you just don't want to be around me. I make you sick. You couldn't even do that because you knew you had to keep that love-hate relationship going so that you could be able to siphon and manipulate and maneuver and to steal what was mine. Now, with that being said, for those people that are still trying to call on God, see, your organization's already tossed you out. I always told people, I'll first pick with Lucifer and God. That's just how it is. You know, the light side take me and the dark side take me. Now people are feeling the effects of, you know what, we should have treated her so much more better. But you know God's watching, right? Every time you lie in front of me, behind my back, you know that's a strike, right? People look at the humans now. You know, everybody's now trying to better themselves and trying to get righteous, but people got to understand the contracts is up. You know, it's now it's an eye for an eye. You know, you do something you're not supposed to, karma's gonna hit you right away. Those towers are going to inflict something that you would never be able to balance. You know, those thorns, those hedges, all those things that people were doing under the sun, moon, stars, planetaries, you know, in the name of astrology, in the name of astronomical, in the name of money. Now, a lot of people now seeing that they didn't get anything out of this cycle. Like I said, 30 plus years. And for those people that want to tell me about God, you can't tell me about God. So shut up. You can't tell me about God. See, I spent my whole life in church, around churches, around non-profit organizations, around people that are Bible thumpers. Those are the biggest people that'll sit there and want to pull out a Bible and let me find this scripture real quick. You don't know God, because if you knew God, you wouldn't have to carry around a Bible. See, when I was a child, I read the Bible so many times, and one of my favorite books was Revelations. And I knew that Revelations was my purpose. Now, people want to ask, how is that? What do you mean that Revelations was your purpose? That's when the horsemen come in. That's when Judgment Day come in. That's when Gabriel blows the trumpet, the horn. That's when everything comes to the light. Now, call me Revelations. Because, like I said in the beginning, I'm a prophet for God. A lot of people open their third eye without it being open the right way. You know, and a lot of people are having real bad side effects. Because your third eye is supposed to just open on its own when you're ready to be in your north node. See, a lot of people just wanted to be able to access the universe. And then a lot of people wondering now why their gifts are either becoming more confusing and they're becoming more conflicted. And I'm here to tell you that's because you opened your eye when it wasn't supposed to be open. You weren't at the point where you had achieved the levels and was leveling up in the right way, as such as progress and progressing. That's why a lot of people sign contracts with the dark side, with these organizations, because they rather take the easy way out. That's why people join covens, and they covet those that are genuinely gifted. Now, that being said, I watch a lot of videos. I do. I watch a lot of different videos: comedy, action, tarot, just spiritual platforms. And we have to understand that your platform is a stage, but you have to be authentic in your setting and with your gifts and being insightful. Now, well, I do watch a lot of videos, from the actions of the government and just politics and religion and the wars, the famine. See, when you watch everything that has to deal with the reasons why there's four horsemen, why there's sicknesses and diseases and ailments, then you have to understand the famine, the starvation, being starved not only physically but mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Then you have to go and look at the wars, the divide, the conquering, the everybody screaming peace, everybody screaming change, but nobody's actions is aligning with their words. That's why I don't even listen to people's words, because all they do is lie. And then you have death. You have all these things going on with the tornadoes, the hurricanes, with Mother Gaia trying to not reinvent itself, but clean up the mess and the travesty that is being placed, and try to ensure that the elements are balanced. It's not only us that needs to be balanced. It's also the elements of the universe, elements of gravity, and that's how everything, the people want to talk about manifestation. That's how things gravitate towards you. It's like that magnetic pull. But everybody want to tug. Nobody wants to see. Everybody want to either play tug of war or just don't even want to help out. A lot of people say, "Oh, I don't want to help out because what could happen to me?" Now, with that being said, we already know what could happen, what would happen. But when it all comes down, whether you worthy or not, and to be in a position you're in. A lot of people want to only be strong when it's beneficial to them, but they want to be weak when it's also beneficial to them. Meaning manipulation, meaning lies, meaning anything to maneuver, anything to either build them up or tear somebody else down. There is no balance. Everybody want to scratch each other backs when somebody's getting something from it. physically. But people want to reject the spiritual part, the emotional part, the mental part. You don't know how much people would love to be genuinely loved. To know that your pockets don't even matter. To know that you can sit next to them and you can feel safe. Don't even gotta say a word. You know you in good hands. See, that's where I come in. And a lot of people didn't want other people to see that or to understand that. And like I said, people just need to use your gifts wisely. Like I said, it's a lot of people that join these covens that picked up books and wanted to tap in and play with things and try to get things to like a starter. A lot of people use magic like a starter kit, to get the drive going. But you have to understand, just because you feel like as though you can manipulate things on the physical plane, you can't do that on the spiritual plane. And like I said, the videos I watch lots of videos, and I see a lot of those videos are guided by competitions. Everybody's competing for a seat online. But if you know that you are spiritually gifted and you know that you work for God, you don't work for man. See, when you're confident in what you do and your tools and how you present yourself, you wouldn't worry about your numbers. You wouldn't worry about people infiltrating your channels. And a lot of people be shouting from the rooftop how their channels are being infiltrated. Let me tell you something. I know my numbers are being infiltrated. I know that my channel is being affected. But the thing is, I don't work for man, so I really don't give a fuck. When you work for God, and that's how I got so much peace. I don't get mad at people no more. I know what people are doing. And the thing is, all you're doing is racking up karma. I know what I've asked for my whole life. I asked, like I said, Revelations. I asked for the 4 horsemen. I asked for balance, as above, so below. I don't have to go into detail of saying what I want done. I know God knows what needs to be done. My ancestors, the spirit guides, the spirit realm. That's why I'm in the position that I'm in. Because I know fairness. I know balance. I don't sit here and I wouldn't sit here and eat a combo and expect you to eat a kid's meal. I don't know. What do you want off the menu? That's what I always make sure. If I do something for me and I know people around, what do you want? It is, but I also know what people need. That's the thing people don't understand. Everybody wants something, but nobody really need anything until it's beneficial. So like that being said, this gonna be a rocky road for people, and a lot of people are not ready for it, but I am. I'm always ready for it. Like I said, I know people be doing things to me, but my faith is in God. I don't have faith in man. Like I said, my faith doesn't lie within the judicial system. I remember as a child, I had to really keep my eyes open. While they were watching me, I was watching them. And it was a reason. Because I had to be able to understand that, as a child, I had to go off of what I see. Especially in circumstances, to be able to make sure I was safe. I was able to keep myself safe enough, to be able to maneuver and do what I need to do. So, like I said, it's a lot of people, parties, covens, and organizations that sold themselves out just so they can, tap in to their gifts, or, or to heighten, and a lot of people are feeling the aftermath of things. Because if you were truly in tune with your gifts, you would be really in tune with God. You wouldn't even care about your channels being affected. You wouldn't even care about people stating things about you. If you know you're doing your part, and you have faith in God, and you know that God can't beat man. The devil can't beat God. And a lot of these people that sign these contracts to join the Luciferians, and man, I had a good laugh last night. I was talking to God, and it was like, for people to think joining Lucifer, and Lucifer laughing at you, because thing is, Lucifer knew he couldn't beat God. That's why he left heaven. I mean, come on now. If you really think that Lucifer could have beat God, that he would have failed, wouldn't you think that he would have tried to overthrow God? But he didn't. He took that L and failed. And a lot of people don't understand. It's really funny. Like I said, everybody now trying to pull on some religious strings and claim to be Jews and Gentiles and be part of God. But let me tell you something. I know God firsthand, and you're not part of God. Not at all. God doesn't claim you. God doesn't claim you at all. So it's a blessing. It's a blessing and a lesson. People gonna have to learn. Like I said, people gonna have to wake up and do what they need to do. Because every choice, every action that you take, karma is gonna affect you. It's not gonna be God is not God is to not be mocked. A lot of people think that, oh, I'm gonna do what I want to do and just wait till I die when I go before God. You before God every day. That's what people fail to realize. You are before God every day. You don't need to go no church and no sanctuary and go to no type of sabbatical. You don't need to go to no type of church functioning to be before God. You before God every day. You here, right? You before God. So you gotta understand, it's not after life, when you die you go before God. No, when you here, you before God. Your existence is proof that you're before God. It's just that everything is done accordingly. There is no lines when it comes to God. God's able to look down and look around and know what's going on. They say God is everywhere. God is everywhere. And that's supposed to be the message. People need to understand that trying to go through man to find God, there's no such thing as no middleman when it comes to God. And that's where spirituality come in. People want to claim titles. You don't need to claim no title. All you need to know is who you believe in. And who's gonna save you. You put your faith in man, you put your faith in man for these wars to end, and the famine to stop, and the sicknesses to go away, and the deaths to stop. That's not gonna happen. That's why it's being pushed. That's why things are going the way it's going. This world, when it comes to man, there's no such thing as coming together. because when everybody comes together, there's no need for all these difficulties, all these obstacles, all these barriers. Why should people have to pay for obstacles and barriers and then pay for things to be able to get them out those obstacles and barriers? Like, why am I paying for the sickness and I'm paying for the antidote? I mean, do it make sense? You making me sick, but then you're gonna charge me to try to get a little bit better so that I can be able to be feasible enough to be able to work every day and make sure that I meet the quota. Come on now. I mean, it doesn't work like that. So, and a lot of people rather ignore it, stand in line. They rather vote. They rather waste time. But you got to understand that a lot of people sacrifice their destinies and sacrifice their lives, putting man first, putting everybody else first before them. See, when you put yourself first and you want to align yourself, see, you working with God. You shouldn't have to be looking at all these billboards and looking at everybody else live their dreams and fulfillments and fulfill their life and then wait for retirement. But we all know what happens when retirement comes. A lot of people don't even live to see retirement, or they just don't even, they don't get to live that life. They either dead, like, mentally, spiritually, physically, or just emotionally, So you gotta understand, stop standing in these lines waiting for the system to fix things, because that's why there's a system. The system, the matrix was here to not give you direction, give you guidance. It was here to see, you gotta disrupt the mind. You gotta make people believe that, okay, I gotta make sure that I follow this person. But we all know that if the bottom could do it, the top can do it. But you gotta understand, when it comes to the top, that's where the money's at. You can buy your way out of stuff, but when you poor, you broke, you don't have nothing but your faith, then what? You shouldn't have to sell your soul and sacrifice your family members and sign contracts that you wouldn't even be able to finish. Now, with that being said, a lot of people are wanting to tell their stories now and tell how they got into the game and got into the industry. But thing is, you got to understand that a lot of people now are getting in the industry. They're old enough to be able to make that decision whether or not they want to not only receive their values but their worths. And anybody could join the industry. All you gotta do is sign on this line, But the thing is, you can't beat the system when it comes down to it, And a lot of people feel as though that foot in the door would get them somewhere and bring them up, but at the end of the day, it's not going to bring you anywhere. It's going to destroy you first, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And then you're going to be physically drained. There's going to be a drought, and then everybody want to blame everybody else because they're not in the position that they want to be in, But once you sign on any line, sign any contract, it can always be manipulated. People don't understand that spell work goes into these contracts. So, and that's why a lot of people don't even read the contracts anyway. You got 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 pages. And a lot of people ignore it. They don't They don't want to see the pages until they're sitting in the courtroom. And that's where it's too late, because you should have been less prideful and eager to join an organization that could care less about you. They still gonna be in control of your movements and how far you go and where you go in life. You're still not gonna be able to enjoy your aspirations and enjoy your gifts. That's where your harnessing energies come in at. Especially if you're spiritually gifted. Those are the number one people they want. People that's spiritually gifted. And it's genuine being spiritually gifted. It's where you don't have to use sacrificial lambs and goats and sheep, and you don't have to kill to get anywhere in life. You don't have to hurt people. You can still be at peace, still love, be able to sleep good, be able to be in tune with yourself and be able to manifest automatically. Those are the ones that they truly want. And a lot of people, they didn't understand it then, but they're understanding it now. So thank you.